Girls, let us see the fourth unit supplementary, the aged mother, Macchio Basho. Okay, do you know about this author? Let us know about the author. Macchio Basho was a 17th century Japanese poet considered to be the greatest master of haiku. A very haiku means a very short form of poetry. Okay, in Japan, many of his poems are seen on monuments. He died at the age of 50 on 28th November 1694. Let us see the story. Okay. Long, long ago, there lived at the foot of the mountain a poor farmer and his aged mother. That is, a poor farmer and his aged mother lived at the foot of the mountain. They lived very happily and they lived a very simple life. Who, though a warrior, had a great, that place was governed by a despotic warrior. Okay, that is a cruel warrior. The place is called Shining. Who, though a warrior, had a great and a cowardly shrinking from anything suggestive of falling health and strength. That is, the warrior decided that the old peoples are very useless peoples, and because of them only the diseases are spreading. So he don't have any concern with the old people, and he hate that old aged people. The entire province was given strict orders to immediately put to death all aged people. So because of that, he cowardly and a cruel, as a cruel king, he decided to put to death all aged people. Those were barbarous. Barbarous means extremely brutal, merciless, harsh days, and custom of abandoning old people to die was not uncommon. This has happened at that place often. So nobody have any braveness to oppose the order of the governor. So all of them decided to put their aged people to death. All were in trouble. The poor farmer loved his aged mother with tender reverence, and the order filled his heart with sorrow. What is meant by reverence? Deep respect. He had a deep respect and love with his mother. This is a story about a love and affection of a son and mother. Okay, he don't know what to do. After his long work in the field, full day work in the field, he took a quantity of unwhitened rice and he cooked it and dried it and tied it in a square cloth. He decided to take his mother away. So she needs some food, no? So he prepared unwhitened rice and cooked it and dried it and tied it in a square cloth. Then he lifted his helpless old mother to his back and started on his painful journey to the mountain. Up the mountain. The road was long and steep. The narrow roads was crossed and recrossed by many paths made by the hunters and woodcutters. That is, the paths are very dangerous to travel. Through that path, he carried his mother on his back and he started his way. The eyes of the old mother were not so dim, but that they noted the reckless hastening of one path to another, and her loving heart grew anxious. Because of this, his mother became worried, and also the son. Her son did not know the mountain's many parts, and his return might be one of the dangers. So she stretched forth her hand and snapping the twigs from bushes as they passed. That is, on the way, the mother decided that when the son returning after the evening, he was alone when he was coming. So she decided to show the path by dropping some twigs, small branches. Twigs means small pieces of wood on the way. So when the son was carrying her on his shoulder, on the way she has broken some of the twigs and dropped all along the way to show the way to the sun when he was returning. The narrow path behind them was dotted at frequent intervals with tiny piles of twigs. At last, the summit was reached. That is, what is the summit known as Obatsuyama? What is the meaning of this? Obatsuyama means the mountain of the abandoning of the aged. That is Obatsuyama, where the aged peoples are put to death or left alone. Weary and heartsick, the youth gently realized his burden and silently prepared a place of comfort and his duty to the loved one. The son was unable to leave his mother all alone there, so at least he wanted to make some comfortable place for his mother. So he decided to make a soft bed for her. He collected some fallen pine needles and he made a soft cushion and tenderly lifted his old mother onto it. That is, he gathered some of the pine needles and he made a soft cushion so that his mother can sleep well in that cushion, because she was going to be alone in that mountain peak, isn't it? Then the trembling mother's voice was full of unselfish love as she gave her last injection. Let not thine eyes be blinded, my son, she said. The mountain road is full of dangers. Look carefully and follow the path which holds the piles of twigs. They will guide you to be familiar path farther down. What's the mother said? On the way to the returning, the helpless mother said with full of love, she asked her son to go carefully because the paths are very dangerous, and make him cautious about their way. Okay. He wrapped her padded coat more closely about the stooping shoulders, and with the tearful eyes and acting heart, he said farewell. He was very much worried to leave his mother there, but there is no way. So he left his mother there in a comfortable cushion and said his farewell. The son, surprised on the way back to his hut or back to his village, the son's surprised eyes looked back over the path, then at the poor old shrived hands, all scratched and soiled by their work of love. That is, when they were climbing up the mountain, the mother had collected some of the twigs. No, because of the twigs, her mother's hands become wounded. He realized that because on the way fully he had seen some of the small twigs full of small twigs on the way. He can easily identify the path. At the time only he realized his mother's love. So he felt a lot. His heart broke within bowing to the ground. He cried aloud. So he decided to bring back his mother to the village. Again he climbed the mountain and bring back his mother and said, "Oh, honorable mother, your kindness breaks my heart. I will not leave you here. Together we will follow the path of the twigs and together we will die," he said. So he again climbed the mountain and brought his mother back to his hut. Once more he shouldered his burden and hastened down the path through the shadows and moonlight to the little hut in the valley. So both reached their hut again. He decided to keep his mother at the back of the kitchen door. Beneath the kitchen floor was a walled closet for food, which was covered and hidden from view. The son hid his mother, supplying her with everything she needed, continually watching the fearing she should be discovered. So he He has hidden his mother in the kitchen cupboard, and he served all her needs and look after her very carefully. At that time, he heard a order from the governor. That is, time passed, and he was beginning to feel safe when again the governor sent forth heralds bearing an unreasonable order. This cruel, despotic means cruel. This cruel governor again proclaimed, that is announced. Proclaimed means announced an order that the subjects want to make a rope of ashes. That is, the rope should be full of ashes. How can a rope can be made with ashes? Seemingly as a boost of his power, his demand was that his subjects should present him with a rope of ashes. It is impossible, no. The entire province trembled with dread. The order must be obeyed, yet who in all shining could make a rope of ashes? All his subjects were in a dangerous and in a shock how to make a rope of ashes. But what to do? They want to do something. This young man told about this unreasonable order of the governor to his mother, who had kept in the kitchen cupboard. One night, in great distress, the son whispered the news to his hidden mother. Wait, she said, I will think on the second day. She told him what to do. On the second day, the mother asked his son to make a rope of twisted straw. Listen, girls, to make a rope of twisted straw, she said. Then stretch it upon a straw of flat stones and burn on a windless night. Okay. He called the people together. He called all the people together of the village and did as she said. And when the blaze died down, thereupon the stones with every twist and fiber showing perfectly lay a rope of ashes. That is, as his mother said, he tied a rope of straw. He tied on and kept on a stone. He said, as it is as mother instructed, with the help of the villagers, and he burned it in the windless air. The governor was pleased at the wit of a youth and praised gently, but he demanded to know where he had obtained his wisdom. So at last, finally, the rope ashes are ready. But the governor was shocked to see about the wit of the youth. He praised him about his wisdom, but he wanted to know where he had got his wisdom, how he had become this much clever. Alas, alas, cried the farmer, the truth must be told. And with a deep bows, he related his story. The governor listened and then meditated in silence. The young man said all about his mother, and he heard with the silence. The governor heard with the silence and decided to abandon the agreement, abandon the degree, to abandon the order what he had announced later. Finally, he lifted his head. Shining needs more than strength of your youth, he said gravely. Because more than the strength of the youth, Shining needs one more thing. What is that? The old age people's wisdom. That I should have forgotten the well-known saying, with the crown of snow there cometh wisdom. That very hour the cruel law was abolished, and custom drifted into as far a past that only legends remain. That is, what he said is, a crown of snow means a white hair of old aged people. Okay, only the wisdom comes only in the aged, only in the age. That is, from the old age people only we can get the wisdom. He realized that, and he abandoned the order what he has ordered earlier. He realized his mistake. So all the people in the village become happy. Thank you, girls. If you have any doubt, ask me.